It's officially dark out. It may seem a tiny bit scarier now that it's dark. We believe in you. You can do it.
Today we're bringing you a Scaredy Cat's Guide to Halloween Horror Nights 2021. Let's go. Tip number 1, if you have daytime admission, try to walk through the park during the day and check out the zones while there's still light outside. Not everything will be out in the open. You can see they cover some things, but there's other areas where you can at least familiarize yourself with the zone and see potentially where they're going to be hiding. Obviously at night there's lighting and fog and it's a lot spookier, but at least during the day you can kind of get a better idea of what it'll look like later tonight.
The goal is working your way up to going through the houses.
To get there, I would try the scare zones first. They're a little less claustrophobic. Oh no, it's starting to rain. That's scary as well. So I would say start with, if it were, well, number 1, you can't start with this zone, but the least scariest zone is Crypt TV in San Francisco, right behind us actually. And then I think 30 Years, 30 Fears, which is probably going to be the first zone you see, is also pretty not scary. If you walk on the sidewalks, there tends to be less scares. It doesn't mean they can't scare you. And then I would say New York Seek and Destroy is the next, and as far as least scary. And then to me, the 2 scariest are Lights, Camera, Action in Hollywood and Gorewood Forest and Central Park. Both of those are pretty spooky. Bonus tip, if you're visiting during the day, which you will be able to see more in the houses, some of the houses during the day, because it's still bright out. But the flip side is your eyes won't be adjusted yet, and so it could be hard to see within the houses, which could be a good thing if you don't want to see much in the houses. But really, I would probably prefer to be able to navigate better. So I would wear sunglasses before you're entering because I think it'll really allow you to be able to navigate and see in the house a lot better.
That, or just wait to go through the houses. Once it gets dark outside and your eyes will be adjusted before you walk in.
That's an option as well.
Yeah.
Another thing to keep in mind is they do keep Diagon Alley open for most of the night, and there is absolutely nothing scary in Diagon Alley. So we're in Nocturne Alley right now. It's the exact same as during the day, so no concerns about anything scaring you in Diagon Alley. If you need to retreat to somewhere where you can just relax, Diagon Alley is a great option.
It's a safe space.
Select rides are open during Halloween Horror Nights. Revenge of the Mummy is probably my favorite that is open during it. The wait time currently is 10 minutes. It gets a little bit longer later in the night, but still sometimes shorter than the day. The other rides that are open are Men in Black, Transformers, Rip Ride Rocket, and Green Gots. Some of those do close early though, so just keep that in mind. Another not scary option at Halloween Horror Nights is the Tribute Store. It's 3 rooms, and they've got tons of merchandise and themed food, but nothing too scary. So it's a great place to retreat to. Nothing's gonna pop out and scare you. A nice little spot to relax. Another thing you can do to escape the scares is to grab dinner, or at least a snack. Over the years, Halloween Horror Nights has progressively added a lot more snacks and themed food. We have a video, not just I, Madison was there as well, where we tried every single food item. So I'll leave a link to that. But we actually tonight went out to City Walk, which isn't part of Halloween Horror Nights, and the restaurants tend to be a little bit less busy than Halloween Horror Nights. And we went to Bread Box. There it is. Handcrafted sandwiches. I had the buffalo chicken, which is my favorite sandwich there. It was good. And you had the hot vegan.
The hot vegan. I'm confusing it with the Today Cafe.
I Heart Vegan.
The I Heart Vegan. Both are 2 very delicious vegetarian options. Sandwiches in the parks or at Universal. The option here, however, is like the veggies aren't like shaved. It's like lots of veggies added on top. So the flavor is so good, but it's kind of messy.
Now it's back to Halloween Horror Nights. There are 2 shows at Halloween Horror Nights, and neither of which are very scary. The first one really isn't, and it's Halloween Nightmare Fuel, and I know the name kind of sounds scary, I guess, but the shows take place at 8, 9:30, 11, and 12:30, and it's kind of like an illusion dance show in the Fear Factor Stadium, which is in the back of the park. The other show is Marathon of Mayhem, which takes place over the lagoon. It's a water projection show where they project different images onto the water, and the viewing area for that is in Central Park. But both of these are a great break from the haunted houses, and again, neither of which are particularly frightening. The scariest part of the night will be the houses. So we've identified the 3 that we think are the least scariest. The first of which is Beetlejuice over in Kid Zone towards the back of the park. It's a fun house. It's very reminiscent of the movie, but it's not particularly scary. Next up
would definitely be Scary, which is kind of like a love letter to a lot of past Halloween Horror Nights houses. It's located in the back, right by Halloween Nightmare Fuel, which we just showed you. It's just not super intense in its scares. It's there's lots of scenes and transitions that you go through. The ending especially, it's light, it's kind of fun, not super intense.
And then the third, which I will say is probably a little more scary than the last two we just mentioned, is the Icons House towards the front of the park. And it is a tribute to all of the Halloween Horror Nights icons of the past. So it's fun, but it's not particularly, in my opinion, one of the scariest ones of the year.
The icons more like prowl around in that house. And it's cool to walk through and see so many like legends of Halloween Horror Nights, but they themselves like don't really come at you in a, like the most intimidating, scary way. I think you could probably handle it.
So it depends on what kind of scaredy cat you are, but I do know a lot of scaredy cats of the houses that choose to watch footage of the houses before they attend. If you watch, I have a complete guide to Halloween Horror Nights where we show you a lot of inside house footage. So I have friends who will like watch these house footage videos and try to like identify where all the scares are going to come from in advance.
There's also another tip this year. This year they do have this vinyl, but like almost like a screen in between you and the scare actors. And if you see that there's vinyl, chances are there's going to be a scare located there. So sometimes you'll see the vinyl before you'll see the scare actor, and it can clue you in that something may happen here. You can kind of brace yourself.
One last tip for you, Universal does offer a Unmasking the Horror tour, which allows you to visit the haunted houses with the lights on. So they share some fun facts about the haunted houses, and you can see where all the actors are going to be without any actors actually in the house. So something to consider. I think the availability is limited at this point, but it's something to consider, especially next year, if you're planning for next year.
I also think it's really important to know, like, if you're gonna come with friends, family, whoever you come with, go at your own pace. It's okay to sit a house out. It's okay to say, you know what, you guys go ahead. I don't know if this house is for me. Go grab a yummy bite to eat. Just sit, hang out. It's okay to take that time for yourself. Go at your own pace. Do what you're comfortable with.
If you want to see more about Halloween Horror Nights, check out the complete guide to Halloween Horror Nights. I'll leave a link to it somewhere over here. And it's a inside look at all the houses, all the zones, and all the shows. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Good night.